NBA Top Shot is where the NBA's biggest fans buy, sell, and earn officially licensed video collectibles. Rip packs or purchase individual, limited edition moments from the marketplace to build your ultimate collection. From rookies to legends, now you can flex your fandom by owning the greatest moments from your favorite players and teams. Your collection can even earn you once-in-a-lifetime, money-can't-buy experiences. NBA Top Shot users have already attended private events with superstars like Klay Thompson and rising stars like Cade Cunningham, and even all-time greats like Magic Johnson. Your entire collection of NBA Top Shot moments never lose quality and are accessible on any device. Rep your team, flex your fandom, and own the greatest moments from the NBA exclusively on NBA Top Shot. Sign up today at NBATopShot.com and kickstart your collection with your first pack. American Express Jersey Assurance is here to help fans. Listen to this. If you purchased a jersey from the NBA store using your American Express card and your player switches teams within 1 year of purchase, you can get a free replacement jersey. Pretty cool, right? Just make sure you use your Amex card and request a replacement within 14 days of the trade, and you can keep repping your favorite player no matter what the team. Terms apply. You can learn more about Amex Jersey Assurance at nbastore.com/Amex. You back your team, we back your jersey.
What do you guys think about something like, woo, 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 woo? I like it, but I think it should be more like, woo. Okay, I actually love that. And should we have some birds being like, wah! In the background, just 100%. And then we also, above the, woo, we have, woo. Oh, it slaps, dude. It slaps.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network, a fine network. It's Monday, December 12th, 2022. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, is Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to Tassie is the bearded one, my Top Shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. And last but not least, making the magic happen over yonder, super producer J.D.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Like away, comment away, subscribe away. Send in your questions and comments to nodunks@theathletic.com. And I've got two great gift ideas for you with Christmas, 2 weeks away? 2 weeks and change away. Go to nodunks.com to get your No Dunks merch, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, mugs, all of that stuff. And then, why not give the sports fan in your life the best newsroom in sports? I'm talking about a subscription to The Athletic. That's a nice gift.
That would be a nice gift.
Right? So you go to theathletic.com/nodunks. It's like $1.99 a month right now. They're also running holiday packages or whatever you want to call them. So go take advantage of that. I would love that. Now, I know it's not something you can hold on Christmas morning.
Yeah, everybody's holding their phone.
That's right, Tass. I was just going to say that. Look at that. So go get that at theathletic.com/nodunks. Okay.
This snuck up on me, Skeets, but it's December 12th. That's under 2 weeks. Christmas is under 2 weeks away.
Oh my God, you're right.
It's sneaky. I don't want people to be thinking, I got time, I got change before that 2 weeks starts. It ain't 2 weeks and change.
Wow.
It's flying.
I did the math wrong on that one, so thank you.
One week and a lot of change.
Nice fact checked. Okay. yes, that's true. Okay, it's winners and losers of the NBA weekend here, but we had two more wedgies. Friday night are the nights for wedgies. I think this is 3 weeks running where we've had multiple wedgies on the Friday night. We start in New Orleans. CJ McCollum there sticking the three-point wedgie.
Pretty good reaction from Aiden here, I thought, actually.
Yeah.
That's nonsense.
It was a deep wedgie, actually, too. Really in there. Way to go, CJ. Love to see it. And then in Memphis, John Morant with the fadeaway jumper wedgie.
A pretty wedgie.
A very pretty wedgie. One that almost went undetected.
Yeah,
we did not get a lot of people telling us about this one, and I wasn't watching.
Was it one person?
It was Lady Sniper Swag. Thank God for her.
Winner of the weekend. Winner of the weekend.
Sniper swag.
Yeah.
Sniping wedgies like she's sniping swag.
But in all honesty, a wedgie happens in whatever game, and we get 2, 3, 4 people.
More than one.
Boot, bit.
By way of Twitter, Instagram, letting us know, oh, Wedgie happened, go check it out. And this was the only person that told us about this amazing Ja Morant wedgie, a superstar wedgie in a fadeaway jumper situation. So thank God. Whew.
In a sweet jersey, too. Those
That's
City
right.
Edition.
Yeah, that's right.
Very nice.
Okay, winners of the NBA weekend. Tass, why don't you get us started? What do you got?
I'm starting late Sunday. It was a wild Hawks game. The Hawks looked like they won this game twice at the end of regulation and overtime. We're talking about a team in some turmoil here with Nate McMillan and Trae Young having their little disagreement. Trae Young staying home. They've got a lot of injuries. This season is slipping to some degree, and then I think this win here in overtime from AJ Griffin, a rookie hitting his second game winner, both in overtime, both against our favorite teams.
How dare this guy?
Yeah, he did it against the Raptors and then did it against the Bulls. Oh.
It was crazy. And it looked over at the end of regulation because Bulls had the last shot in regulation. Hawks up one, but DeRozan missed. He missed the game-winning attempt. And Derek Jones Jr., though, able to recover.
Yep.
And A.J. Griffin, future hero, fouled him. So Derek Jones Jr. goes to the line, hits 1 of 2 with 0 on the clock. The game is the time had elapsed, so it's one of those where you miss the free throw, and then you just got to go to your bench. And all right, it's overtime, I guess. And then in overtime, we see Bogdanovic driving along the baseline, hitting a Larry Bird as he's pushed out of bounds over the board. And I mention him because 0.5 seconds left here. 1 second left here at the end of overtime. The thing is over because Trae Young just hit a shot to put the Hawks up 2. The thing is over. 1 second left. DeMar DeRozan gets the ball well beyond the 3-point line, and somehow Bogdanovic fouls him. Clear foul.
Yeah.
So DeRozan is shooting 3 free throws, and that's when the camera went to Atlanta Braves legend David Justice in the first row, and you can see him say, he fouled him. Although I don't think his daughter was paying attention because she had her headphones in the entire game. Anyway, besides that, she's busy. Anyways, besides that, DeMar DeRozan bangs home 3 free throws. Yep. They're up 1 point. So 0.5 seconds left. Clearly a diversion play for Trae Young. Trae Young comes up top as the inbounder is looking for someone to inbound to. Everybody's looking at Trae Young. I'm looking at Trae Young. 8 guys basically are up top while AJ Griffin is floating away from the rim at first. Yep. He's kind of he goes from the lane towards sort of the dunker spot on the baseline. He's kind of coming towards the sideline, and then suddenly he reverses. He's got his back to the basket. Inbounder finds him underneath the rim, jumps up, back to the basket, has to rotate midair and just toss it in. Bang. Again, another game winner. He just throws it
Another lob game winner.
Yeah.
For AJ Griffin, right? The Trae Young one was against the Raptors in overtime where he threw it, full court to him. This one different from the sideline out of bounds, but man, what a shot.
What a shot. McMillan drawing up plays, and he had Derek Jones Jr. on him too, so a real hopper there. He had the ups to be close to him, but he just kind of flicked it over him. No one expecting it, really, to go to him whatsoever.
Yeah.
What? No one. I don't know. You said this was a Trae Young decoy play. This was not a Trey Kirby decoy play. I said, why isn't there a tall guy standing by the rim?
Yeah.
Where's our Andre Drummond? That would have been the guy I had. Hops and tall. Derek Jones Jr. Skinny. Hops, certainly, but there's one play that teams run here. They throw it to the rim.
Near the rim, yeah.
That was a bad mistake, I thought, by Billy Donovan to have a short guy in there. Derek Jones Jr., he's got hops. That means you got to time it perfectly. Drummond should have been in there, but also a little home cooking, I think, from the Hawks here with regards to the clock. You're telling me 2 guys caught the ball and got shots off within 1 second? The DeRozan play should have run off probably 0.7 seconds off the clock. Mm-hmm. The fact that they got 2 plays out of that, a little bit of nonsense, but that's why they call it home court advantage.
Was there 3 lead changes then in 1 second, basically, in this game?
Yeah.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah.
Trae to DeRozan to the AJ Griffin game winner. What was wild about that, I agree, you want a bigger guy in there. It's weird, though, in these situations, yes, you throw it at the rim, but it usually involves the player going towards the rim, and like Tass took us through, AJ Griffin literally running away from the rim. Hell of a pass. Was it Jalen Johnson that chucked it on the side? Yeah. To put it in the perfect spot, almost like a quarterback, he had to throw it sort of to the outside shoulder, I guess, and Griffin with the body control to flip it up. Yeah. It was a lot of things happening in a little amount of time in terms of starting the clock, but Yeah, what a win there for Atlanta.
The odd thing is, Jalen Johnson ended up inbounding with 0.5 seconds left, but it was the Hawks' second attempt. They called a timeout. Trae Young was actually inbounding, so I don't know if Nate McMillan did that on purpose or he just decided, you know what, let's switch this up. Maybe Trae Young shouldn't be our inbounder. And then he came to the top, and Jalen Johnson, he threw it over Vooch, which was a large man.
Another guy who could have been standing at the rim.
Yeah, it's possible for sure. And everybody looking at Trae Young, that's for sure, as AJ Griffin. I think it may have thrown him off that it was the second attempt there. But I agree. You could have had a larger man.
That's the one place. That's the one place they should have a lot of defenders.
Yeah.
Why is your tallest guy standing the farthest from the hoop? Doesn't make sense. But good thing for the Hawks, because I think they would have been losers of the weekend if they lose this game. Bad loss. I think it was Friday night, right? Yeah. And then they did kind of blow this game a little bit. Yeah. What do free throws do? Win games. Derek Jones Jr. Make 2 of them.
Yeah, it's over.
And it's over. Yep.
But I think the
Hawks,
Hawks,
a mid-off, though, from these two teams.
A mid-off, yeah. I think the Hawks, they would have been sub 500. It is odd because we think of this team as done. In a weird way, we think of them as well under 500 just because of all the drama they've had going on. They are 14-13, and I think this weird situation with Nate McMillan, with Trae, who had a decent Friday night against the Nets. He had 33, and then in regulation and OT, he hit both shots that put them up. He was 3 of 14 going into that shot where he bombed away, 30-foot shot, and it was like 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Early and with a minute left in the fourth, and just bombed away. And he sent them up then, and then he set them up in OT. They're going on their run. I think they're going on their run. They got DeAndre Hunter back. They still have a lot of injuries in John Collins and DeJounte Murray, but I think this weird thing brings them together. I think it's happening. Listen to their schedule here. They got Memphis tonight. Not easy. But then Orlando, Charlotte, Orlando, Chicago again, Detroit, Indiana, Brooklyn, then the Lakers on LeBron's 38th birthday. Some winnable games in there, even though we'll get to the Magic, who are scorching hot.
They play to their competition a lot of the times, though.
Yeah.
That's the one worry about the Hawks.
That is the problem, for sure.
Good teams come in, they play better. Win or lose, bad teams, you've seen them multiple times play
but I don't know, there's weird things happening where they're getting together, and AJ Griffin, being a glue little rookie. First rook to hit 2-game winners since
Cole Anthony.
No, he didn't.
Oh, man. That's
Longer.
a good guess.
Oh, really? I know Cole Anthony did hit a couple.
I mean, how long?
Maybe these are real game winners.
Like buzzer beaters?
Sure.
Sure.
They're called game winners here in the note. But anyway, a guy who Trae knows very well. He wasn't a real, not like you know him
Ben
personally.
Gordon?
No. Way earlier in that. In the 90s, old rookie.
Tony Kukoc?
Yeah,
Oh,
Tony
nice.
Kukoc.
Nice.
Nice. Good hints.
All right, great stat. All right, let's
Here's real quick, though. Here's a weird thing that worked really well for the Hawks. They went zone a ton of this game in the second and third quarter, and just like last season, the Bulls couldn't figure it out. They went 18 of 42 from the field. In those couple of quarters there, the Hawks forced 11 turnovers. That was really the game right there. The Bulls just fell apart in the middle 2 quarters of this game. The Hawks, their defense is all right so far, but their zone looked pretty good, and it certainly was good enough to frustrate Chicago. So playing against some of these stinky teams, maybe they pull out the zone a little bit here and grind out some wins.
Did you head down to the Fortress?
No, I was too tired, man.
Yeah.
Got home from a weekend of camping. It was like every 2 hours I was like, this is the only Bulls game in Atlanta I'm going to be able to go to. Next time they're here is, I think, the 21st, December 21st.
Oh, right.
We'll be back in Chicago
okay.
at that point. So I was like, I should go. And then I go fall asleep a little bit on the couch. I should go. Fall asleep a little bit on the couch. Then I was pumped. I was like, oh, man, I should have gone there. The Bulls are going to win this one. I'm going to be saying, what if free throws do win games at the end of the fourth quarter? Of course, Derek Jones Jr. misses one. Then I was fired up again at the end of overtime. Oh, I would get to be telling everybody around me, John Hollinger in particular, what if free throws do win games? And then, the tallest, most athletic guy on the court was sitting on the sidelines for a lot play.
So, yeah.
It do
in
be
the
like
end,
that.
maybe a good decision.
Yeah. I actually didn't want to have to battle the crowds getting home. That was the problem for me. As soon as the game was over, I just wanted to go to bed, get some sleepies in, because this was an early night.
This was 6 o'clock start, or 6:30 start. I guess.
This was the late game.
Yeah,
So I was like, there's no way I'm spending the hour afterwards when I could be in snooze mode.
And we're at the point here in the season where 6:30 p.m. Eastern, it feels like it's like 9:30 p.m. Eastern for whatever reason. It's dark so early, and like you said, if we had a long weekend, then it's going to be a little rough. But what an entertaining game. Okay, let's keep it moving. Trae, winner of the weekend.
Joel Embiid gets a winner of the weekend, 53 points in a win on Sunday against the Hornets. He becomes the first player with multiple 50-point games this season, and the first center with multiple 50-point games in a season since who?
Shaq?
Not Shaq. Shaq never had multiple 50-point games in a season. A little surprising.
Wilt Chamberlain?
Okay, I mean, there are 6 total. Wilt Chamberlain did it 9 times. Every season, this guy's putting up multiple 50-point games. But the most recent, I'm guessing it was during a season when he had a massive scoring output on the last day of the season to win.
David Robinson.
Good.
You
want to take a guess at the other 3?
They're gettable?
They're gettable. It's two of the greats of all time.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
There you go. The first superstar in NBA history.
George
Mikan.
Yep. And then perhaps the funniest named superstar in NBA history, at least MVP-wise, I would say.
Funny.
Chubby Cox.
That's a hard one. It's a name that shows up a lot in like these random quizzes.
Right. It's not Dolph. No, he's not
No,
a center.
that's a good one though.
Yeah.
Bob McAdoo.
Oh, yeah.
Always fun to say.
Oh,
Bob
yeah, we should
McAdoo.
always say him. You're right.
Yeah,
Comes
he's
up in
got
lot of these.
a crazy run of statistics, but yeah, multiple 50-point games as well. Probably his MVP season. Segue. This could be an MVP season for Joel Embiid because he was awesome in this game against the Hornets. 20 of 32 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, 11 for 11 at the free throw line. He's doing it against the front line of Plumlee, Richards, and Kai Jones. The comp isn't great, but honestly, he went out there and dominated from the jump. So you got to give him a little tip of the cap there, especially considering in the win on Friday, Joel Embiid went for 38, 12, and 5 against the Lakers, had Anthony Davis in foul trouble, had LeBron trying to guard him. LeBron ain't guarding centers at this point in his career, but really, Embiid has been on quite the heater since coming back from injury. In the 6 games since he returned from hurting his foot, 30, 19, 35, 39, 38, then this 53. The problem is that Philadelphia is only 3-3 since he's come back, so they're only 5th in the Eastern Conference, but as soon as Embiid qualifies for the minutes per game leaderboard, which should be tonight, he'll be leading the league in scoring, a career best 33.4 points per game, shooting 54 from the field, career best in assists per game. This is just the time of the year when the MVP table gets quite crowded.
I was going to say a fire marshal's coming in here soon and shut down this MVP restaurant. It's over. There's too many people in the facility.
We'll talk about Zion here in just a minute, but he's there now. Obviously, Jason Tatum has had a run there. Steph Curry's putting up incredible numbers. But Embiid is really putting the Sixers on his back. Basically, since Maxey went down, since Harden went down, Harden has since returned. Embiid has really helped carrying the team. The Sixers have basically been treading water since then. They're only about a 500 team in the meantime, but it could have gone much worse, I think, for Philadelphia. So shout out to them. Shout out to Embiid, getting his name back in the mix here.
It almost did go much worse for Philadelphia on Friday night versus the
Yes.
Lakers, having, a 9-point lead with, barely any time left in the game and somehow gave it all away, and then it went to OT, but they pulled it out in the end. That's all that matters. Mm-hmm. Give your fans 5 more minutes of action. Free basketball, as they call it. Do you believe that? Do you like that when people say free basketball for overtime? I'm guilty. I've done it, but do you consider it free? Do you when you buy your ticket from SeatGeek or Ticketmaster or straight from the team themselves? 48 minutes. That's what you're guaranteed.
That's what I should say on the bottom.
Yeah, well, we're all paying for it. Even if you're not in the arena, you're still paying for the game in one way, shape, or form. Most likely. So it's free in a way. I will say Embiid's 50-point game, the quietest 50-point game I can remember. I know we have a lot of 50-point games in the NBA, and people say, oh, it's point inflation or whatever. And so they're kind of all becoming a little quiet, but that was quiet. In terms of a Sunday where a dude scores 50, yes, it was against the Hornets, but to have his career high in points per game, career high in field goal percentage, you said the assist, so the efficiency is ridiculous. He's putting his team on his back, tied for his career high in free throws. He is doing it all.
Yeah,
he really is doing it all, even though he got some ridicule at the beginning of the season for not trying all that hard, and deservedly so. They're sitting at 14-12, as you said. Third place should be their goal now because the Celtics and Bucks are running away with it in the East. But they can get to third if they put it all together.
All right. Well, from one MVP candidate to another here, you said it, Zion Williamson. Hey, last we checked, he was like plus 8,000 for MVP. Hope you put a little coin on that because I assume those odds are going to drastically change after what he's been doing. The Pelicans are a winner. They've won 12 of their past 14 games after defeating the Suns in back-to-back contests over the weekend here. And after 2 games in Salt Lake City coming up in versus the Jazz, New Orleans then travels to Phoenix to wrap up their season series. That'll be it. They'll have played 4 games already before we even get to the new year, of course. So that's weird. But Zion, in 7 games since Ingram left the rotation, he's averaging 30 points per game, 9.1 rebounds, 5.3 assists, because he is a bit of a playmaker for them, 1.6 steals, and over 1 block per game. And more importantly, the Pelicans have won all of those games now on their big winning streak here. And he just went for 35 in both their games, one of them overtime. Credit to the Suns for fighting in the second one without Booker and getting it to OT, and Ayton fouling out, and then Chris Paul fouling out after they looked at it after he kicked out his legs there on Zion Williamson, if I remember correctly, to get right. Chris Paul's 6th. But then the depth of this Pelicans team is awesome because they're doing all this without Ingram, and it's like every game it's someone else stepping up to pair with Zion and his 30 points that he can just put it in pen now every night, it feels like, on incredible efficiency, because it's like Najee Marshall, or it's Alvarado, or it's Trey Murphy catching fire. It's like Larry Nance has obviously been instrumental in this win streak, closing a lot of games at the 5 where Valanciunas starts there. So what a team. And the vibes, they're immaculate. The Smoothie King Center, it's bumping. It's a fun watch, and how can it not be with what's going on there? And we can get here, to the Friday night Zion late game dunk, but any thoughts on the actual victories before we get to the unwritten rule that Zion and the Pelicans broke?
It's awesome to see Zion healthy and playing well, and to have a real team around him right now. In the 7 straight wins for the Pelicans, Zion's gone 23, 30, 30, 25, 29, 35, 35, shooting 60% or better in every single one of these games. I even saw him make a right-handed layup yesterday.
Yes, I know.
Unbelievable stuff. He's doing it all out there. 25 points per game on 15.7 field goal attempts per game. He's just the 3rd player to average 25 on fewer than 16 shots per game. Shout out to StatMuse for that one. The other players are Charles Barkley and Amari Stoudemire. And I was like, if you put Charles Barkley and Amari Stoudemire together, you're getting Zion. I haven't really thought of that as the Zion comp, but man, those two paired together like Chuck's handles and, end-to-end rambling after grabbing the board, and Amari's explosion, dunking it out of nowhere. I think it's a pretty solid comp. Those two having a baby, it became Zion Williamson, and now that he's actually able to string together a bunch of games here, you see why people were so hyped about this guy. He is unstoppable. The Suns are probably happy that they are done playing the Pelicans soon.
Pretty soon. Yeah, good point, because
they're getting clowned.
Yeah.
They're cooked against the Pelicans.
Yeah.
They better hope they don't see him in the playoffs.
Yeah, they tried a lineup maneuver there with Booker out on Sunday to go big and go Dario Saric instead to try and slow him down, but tough night for Ayton, who fouled out, because he just gets up to Ayton and just is able to shimmy shake around him. He's just so quick for Ayton, who's much bigger than him, much taller, probably just as strong. He's just so freaking explosive. It's just so tough to guard him. This season turned, I think, for the Pelicans when Zion got the ball a little bit more instead of CJ McCollum at the point guard spot. Sort of like Chuck, just give him the ball up top and watch him do stuff. And I think Willie Green, as their head coach, played it really smartly. Waited until Zion got comfortable, started playing games, became healthy. And this guy's the absolute total package. We've talked about him on the floor a ton, but even after the whole little thingamajig that happened on Friday, he got on the mic and was just so smooth about it. He said, yeah, maybe I went overboard, but at the same time, my homies were in the locker room. I was in the locker room, is what he said, when we lost in the playoffs, and I just needed to take it out on them a little bit. He's just so good. He's smooth on the mic. He looks cool. He's such a unique player. Just stay healthy, man.
Yeah, so Friday night, Zion throws down the 360 windmill at the end of the game. In the closing seconds, Pelicans are up. Comfortably. It's over. Even though Chris Paul had just taken a shot, it was over. Suns didn't take kindly to that. We also saw a clip a couple days later, an alternate angle of Chris Paul throwing sort of a high little elbow to the chin area of Alvarado when they were coming back. That was a part of the whole sort of melee at the end. Everybody taken to the floor, benches clearing, players and coaches all involved. No one's throwing punches or anything like that, but everyone's pissed off. And it's the unwritten rule. An NBA season doesn't start until we have this conversation on the podcast. The unwritten rule of basketball about running up the score or putting down a huge dunk when you shouldn't because the other team has conceded the game. Have your opinions changed on the matter? I can't assume they have.
No, I still thought it was awesome.
Yeah,
that was
same
like
here.
one of the coolest moments that Zion's had in a Pelicans jersey. Of course, throwing it down a 360 windmill. I'm 100% for it. What a cornball move by the Suns. They even waited until the game clock expired. There was 1.9 seconds left where they could have got up in Zion's face and been really mad about it. But no, they waited 1.9 seconds until the clock had finally expired. What a cornball team this is. And then they did nothing about it on Sunday.
Yeah.
So they were just mad that they got beat pretty badly.
Oh, they fought on Sunday. They played decently.
No,
well.
but they didn't hit Zion. They didn't knock him out of the air. It was just a lot of bluster.
Torrey Craig took a charge.
A charge.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I
And
wouldn't
that-
want to take a charge
yeah.
from Zion.
And
but-
that hurt. It
yeah.
took him a while to get up
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, so Zion won that one again.
Yeah.
Yes, though it has to look cool. I think Rudy Gobert did the same thing on Friday night against
Yep.
his old team, the Utah Jazz. Didn't have to shoot.
Yeah.
He just put it in.
Yeah, he didn't even dunk it. Yeah, he just like dropped it in.
Big mistake. Huge mistake. Number one, looked lousy. Obviously, he can't do what Zion can do. What Zion did was a dunk contest.
It's a 50.
dunk.
Yeah,
It's
probably.
It's
49
phenomenal.
at least.
He put it on for his city. That looks so cool. And so, he was pissed that he wasn't able to play in the playoffs. It looked amazing. Rudy Gobert would have been way smarter. First game in Utah to throw it down and, jeer the fans or something instead of laying it up. Huge mistake. Zion did it properly. If Zion laid it in, I thought it would have been lousy. You know, if you did the Rudy, big mistake. Looked.
So if you're going to run up the score and score 2 meaningless points at the end, do it with some style. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm fine with that.
why just lay it in? So Zion, what a great weekend.
Yeah, Zion, after the game, you were talking about this, Tat. He said it was out of character for himself, but he explained that he was a little peeved that the Pels were knocked out of last year's playoffs because of the Suns, and he got a little carried away because of that, and he wasn't playing in that series. 2 tweets about this whole thing, this unwritten rule, that I absolutely loved. At Adam_Jacoby, if you throw a 360 dunk down, you make 18,000 people happy, but you make Chris Paul mad, is the goddamn easiest trolley problem ever written. You know that trolley problem meme? Fantastic. If those are your 2 options, make Chris Paul mad or put down a 360 windmill dunk for 18,000 people in the Smoothie King Center going bonkers. Okay. And then the other one, and this is how I really feel about it. David White, he said, I think it's fine to say, fuck it, I'm done before the game is officially over. But just because you're done doesn't mean everyone else has to stop too. And that's the argument. If that team, in the Phoenix Suns in this case, wave the white flag and say, okay, we're not playing anymore because you guys got us, then we all stop. But David White, I'm with you. That doesn't mean you can't give the crowd what they want or do something else or score more. Also, Chris Paul's shot at the end. I don't get this part of the whole thing.
Exactly. It's a home game.
Yeah,
it's a home game.
Yeah.
That's the thing to me. It's like Zion is showing off for his hometown fans. That's cool. Mm-hmm. Like I've got no problem with that. I saw Devin the Lab was going in. The snitch hotline was working over.
Sure, I saw.
Overboard this weekend. Of course, the Phoenix Suns were taking shots late in the game against multiple playoff opponents last year. And of course, Chris Paul has been elbowing Jose Alvarado in the chest and neck since Jose Alvarado got under his skin and has been living rent-free in his head for more than 6 months at this point.
Yeah. They're not all that different in that way. Jose Alvarado and Chris Paul. It's a perfect little rivalry.
One more interesting thought about Zion. I saw Bomani Jones tweet this. I want to get your guys' take on it, and everybody here in the stream team, everybody listening later. I sort of can't stop thinking about it because I think it's an interesting point from Bomani. He said, it should terrify the NBA that Zion is living up to the hype. His team is really good. His team is really likable in the Pelicans. And that just seems to be an afterthought in the sports zeitgeist. The dude was a one-name star before playing a game. So Bomani coming at this from a different angle. We're talking about Zion nonstop. We're NBA sickos. We do an NBA podcast. But he thinks, and tell me whether you agree or not, that this isn't as big a story in the sports world, what Zion's doing right now and the run he's on, how the Pelicans are number 1 team in the West. It's not as big as it should be. Think Bomani has a point? Disagree? What's your take?
Maybe it's bad timing. Maybe between the World Cup and we're getting down to the stretch run for the NFL here. You know, it's also the Pelicans. Like, that's the thing. It's the Pelicans. Like, I don't think Ja Morant became the biggest story in the league in December of last year, but by the time they got to, getting to be playoff time, he was one of the biggest stories. But yeah, I mean, this is what everybody was expecting from Zion. It's finally happening. Maybe people aren't talking about it because they're nervous of jinxing it.
Possible. Any takes on that from Bomani?
I just think, basketball stories don't become huge stories in the first quarter of the season, really, with guys that haven't done it before. Yeah, Ja Morant was doing it, maybe a little later in the season. He also looks a lot cooler than Zion in the way he scores every one of his baskets. That's a little different, I think.
Sure.
The way I'm
Zion's starting now to ramp up the highlights, which I'm loving to see.
Oh God,
All I thought about from this was the NBA needs to take my advice. Get him in the zeitgeist. Just rig that net. Have a break.
Break it down.
Boom. Leading Sports Center and every sports show for the next week. Do it, Silver.
Didn't somebody?
Do it.
Didn't somebody edit one of those? Like somebody,
I
like
did
a
see
fake.
that. I saw a clip going around.
Nice deep fake.
Yeah.
Where
nice
he
deep
threw
fake.
it down and he walked away and the rim went down.
Yeah.
It was just a very nice edit. I will say I am pumped to see two teams here as we slipped in there, the Pelicans and the Grizzlies, two southern small market teams atop the Western Conference. It's awesome. But at the same time, it has to be later in the season. The fact is, it's not as big because the season is pretty long. It's just freaking early, and they're 18-8, and you can't really celebrate them as a number one seed because this ain't football. It's just going to. There's too many games left, unfortunately.
Okay.
And Zion hasn't been able to stay healthy. That's another issue. But hopefully, if they stay healthy, as you mentioned, you slipped in a Najee Marshall.
Oh, I love this guy.
Yeah, he'll fight for his team every
strong.
second of the game. They're literally like 12 deep.
Yeah.
They're so deep. So that should get them to the end of the season. And I think that's what has them over the Grizzlies' playoff potential because they're deep, but they also have a little more top-end talent. Like Brandon Ingram, when he comes back, an all-star. CJ McCollum been doing it for a long time into his 30s, rather than Jaren Jackson Jr. and Desmond Bane to go around Ja Morant, who obviously both superstars, Ja and Zion, but this is just a polished team David Griffin has put together. So we'll be talking about them hopefully as long as they stay healthy. Zion's just got to stay healthy.
All right, let's do we'll call it almost like a rapid fire second round here for winners of the weekend. We'll move some pace here. Who you got?
Yes, let's do that. The Knicks. Nobody talks about them. Small market team, the New York Knicks. Let's give them just quick love because 2 wins this weekend, Charlotte and Sacramento. Not world beaters, but they've won 4 in a row. I think at this point of the season, it's a long season, and it took the first quarter of the season for Tom Thibodeau to realize what his rotation should be. They've gotten young and defensive instead of some of the oldies, and Julius Randle is freaking balling. So there's 2 parts to it. Julius Randle looking like the 2021 Julius Randle. He had 36 Friday, then 27 in 27 minutes before getting kicked out of the game on Sunday. But his last 7 games, 27, 9, and 4. That's a good stretch here to be putting up those decent numbers. And the youngins have been inserted to play defense around him and R.J. Barrett. They need hard-nosed defenders. So Derrick Rose, goodbye out of the rotation. Evan Fournier, goodbye out of the starting lineup. Cam Reddish also out. Quentin Grimes is in. He's starting. He played 40 minutes on Sunday. Just hard-nosed defense. A guy who doesn't need to take a lot of shots. He only took 8 shots in 40 minutes on Sunday. Perfect around Barrett and Randall and Brunson, who is an absolute rock, so much so that he fell on his elbow. It looked pretty dangerous, but that rock just got right back up. And hopefully he'll be all right from that. So I think the rotation just looking really, really good. So you've got your starters in there, with Mitchell Robinson playing center. And then off the bench, Quickly is your 6-man. Isaiah Hartenstein is your backup center. And then you got a Deuce McBride now sort of as the other backup guard who loves to play defense. Deuce defense is a real thing. He played hard with his brother one-on-one in the backyard. One of those stories. Fred Katz wrote about it. So they've got the more appropriate guys, I think, around Barrett and Randall. They're getting hot in the right time. 4 in a row here, as I said. And they're moving up the standings in the Eastern Conference, which is a little surprising. You'd think that they'd sort of be around 500 the entire season, and they might be, but I think they've got the tools now as Julius Randle looking like his old self, plus some defense to propel themselves up the standings a little bit more.
Yeah, they're crossing their fingers, though, the Knicks fans are, that Brunson, that ankle injury, too. I mean, he took the hard fall on the elbow, but then tweaked his ankle, left the game, and I think we're just waiting to find out if it's serious or not, because he's such a stabilizing factor. So hopefully it's not. All right, Knicks a winner of the weekend. I'll give the other New York team a little winner love. The Brooklyn Nets, also sort of they're not moving in the standings, but they're getting awful close to sort of catching your Cleveland Cavaliers there with the third seed in the East right now. But on Friday, it was Durant and Kyrie helping the Nets edge the Hawks to end a 6-1 homestand. So really, really nice, taking care of business at home. The Hawks sort of blew this game. They couldn't get a rebound to save their life at the end, and that helped the Nets pull out the victory. But they got it done. And then on Saturday, super shorthanded. They were missing 8 guys, the Brooklyn Nets were. I think they're 5 top scorers. And somehow still eked out the win against the Pacers in a back-to-back situation there. 136-133 was the score. Not a lot of defense being played. But Cam Thomas scored a career-high 33 points. I think he had 21 in the fourth. Patty Mills was big late, too. He had 24. And they just dominated the Pacers in the middle. Stats are, like, alarming. 59-30 rebounding advantage for the Brooklyn Nets. What do you call it when all these guys miss games, but like these second and third unit guys come in?
Guys being dudes.
Guys being dudes. That was a guys being dudes win from Cam Thomas, Patty Mills, and the Nets. Yeah, 59-30 rebounding advantage, 29-7 in offensive rebounds, and 37 second chance points. Going to give yourself a chance to win a game if you have that many second chance opportunities. So just a little love there to the Nets.
And Utah Watanabe's back.
Oh, good.
A lot of guys out, but he's back. He's going to help them win games.
Trey, final one. Winner of the weekend.
Just one game, but the Warriors get a winner of the weekend because they got their best win of the season Saturday against the Celtics. It was a finals rematch, and it was basically a finals replay. Starts with the Splash Brothers. Klay Thompson led the Warriors in scoring. He had 34. 24 of those came in the first half, and I thought he was really using the Celtics' aggression against him. Boston did seem pretty content and pretty driven to run the Warriors off the line. So Klay was happy to be pumped and cut and step into 2-pointers. Boston limited Klay's threes, 4 for 11. Like, not a crazy shooting night for Klay Thompson, but he went 10 for 15 on twos. Just smart stuff. Steph was his usual special self, 32, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Warriors were plus 20 with him on the court. And I was super impressed with Jonathan Kuminga, 14 points on 6 of 9 field goals, very nice, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He just looked too big and too fast for Boston's smaller lineup with no Horford out there. He was giving them problems. Real great patience inside. Golden State now back over 500 after a couple of losses there. They're only in 8th right now in the Western Conference, which seems weird because they might still be the favorite in the West. Their next 6 games are on the road. Next home game is Christmas versus the Grizzlies. Warriors are still 2-11 on the road, so they need to win some of these games, but decent comp. The Bucks, Pacers, Sixers, Raptors, Knicks, and Nets. No real pushovers. I mean, the Pacers just beat the Warriors very recently, so it's going to be tough here, but this is the kind of win where you're like, oh yeah, this is why we consider them the favorites in the Western Conference. They completely took Jason Tatum out of the game, had his probably worst game of the season, and they did that without Andrew Wiggins. They've been looking okay without Wiggins. I think Kuminga is making a case to keep getting minutes once Wiggins comes back.
Any takeaways from that Saturday night marquee game there on
ABC? Yeah. I think Kuminga is definitely going to be playing off the bench for them. The Klay 2-pointer thing or trend in this game was real. Him and Steph as well. They're both getting into the paint. I haven't seen Klay that bouncy in a long time. I thought even pre-injury, the way Tatum blew by him one play and Klay caught up to him and packed him off the board. He blocked Jason Tatum's shot. What is happening? Klay looked really good. To see him lead the team in shot attempts, didn't think that was coming at all. They do have their rotation. And yeah, Tatum, I don't know if he had a little flashback to the finals where he wasn't himself, that we had a bad series shooting the ball. You can obviously throw this one out for them. They just destroyed the Suns prior to this game. So maybe he just had an off game. But that was his worst game. And with no Andrew Wiggins on the floor, surprising, because you think the perimeter defense for this Golden State Warriors team wouldn't be there, but they absolutely stepped up.
All right, those are our winners of the NBA weekend. I see the stream team saying, what about the Rockets? beating the Bucks there in their throwback uniforms that are polarizing, I feel like. Some people love those San Diego threads. Some people sort of hate them. I feel like you weren't a fan of the shorts, if I remember correctly. Was that the problem with them?
Oh yeah, those shorts are wrong. They look cool. The jerseys look absolutely cool, but the horizontal stripes about 4 inches below the waistband.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it looks like they're falling every single play the entire time. It's the jerseys that look cool. But John Lucas, assistant coach for the Rockets, you see him after the game. An assistant coach, he was going bonkers. He was going bonkers after beating the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's a big win.
He was flying around, jumping around. A 60-plus-year-old man just getting love from everybody on their bench. It was a big win. Yeah.
It was a big win. There's a lot of highlights in that game, too. I mean, Jalen Green was attacking the rim. So good win there from the Rockets.
Yeah, this John Lucas was a good clip. Recommended clip.
There you go. He's going nuts. And then I know the Orlando Magic could get some love for a win of the weekend, but don't you worry. We'll be talking about that team when we talk about the team they beat twice in our Toronto Raptors, who went to Florida and took a shit. So we'll take a break. When we come back, the losers of the NBA weekend. Do you know how much your subscriptions really cost? Most Americans think they spend around $80 a month on subscriptions, when the actual total is closer to $200 plus. That's right. You could be wasting hundreds of dollars each month on subscriptions you don't even know about. In this economy, we gotta clean that up. Thankfully, there's this app that takes care of it for me and for you. It's called Rocket Money, formerly known as True Bill. The app shows all your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you still don't want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you don't even know you were paying for. Birchbox? Why do I have that? To cancel a subscription, I don't wear makeup. To cancel a subscription, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/nodunks. Seriously, it could save you hundreds, maybe if not thousands of dollars per year. That's rocketmoney.com/nodunks. Cancel your unnecessary subscriptions right now at rocketmoney.com/nodunks.
I live in Atlanta, but I like watching the Toronto Raptors and Toronto Blue Jays play. And that used to be a big pain for me because they don't show the games here. It doesn't happen. But this season, I discovered an amazing trick that's let me watch every single NBA and MLB game live for a fraction of the normal cost. It's called ExpressVPN. Here's how it works. The NBA offers NBA League Pass, which lets you stream games online, but if you live in the US or Canada, it doesn't let you watch all of them. Some games are blacked out. Even for us, we get the blacked out blues with our passes as well. It happens to us. So what do? Fire up ExpressVPN and use it to change your location to a different country. Buy and use the NBA League Pass from there, and boom, no blackouts. What a hack. And depending on the country, NBA League Pass could cost less than $15 for a whole year. ExpressVPN works on your computer, phone, router, and consoles like Fire TV, so you can watch all the games from any device. Even when you're not watching NBA, you can use ExpressVPN all the time for stuff like Netflix or Disney Plus to access thousands of extra shows that are only on other countries' libraries. Enjoy all 1,230 games of the NBA season in HD with the world's most trusted VPN, ExpressVPN. And you can use our special link today to get 3 months free at expressvpn.com/nodunks. Then you can use ExpressVPN to sign up for NBA League Pass at a huge discount. That's expressvpn.com/nodunks for 3 months free with a 1-year package. expressvpn.com/nodunks.
What does it take to achieve your athletic goals? Competitive drive fuels the fire, but going beyond your limits requires a roadmap and a trusted co-pilot. That's where Future comes in. Not the rapper. That would be very cool.
Yeah.
We're talking about the app. Future is a new way to get fully customized personal training that revolves around you. No matter what gets you moving, you'll find the guidance, motivation, and accountability to push beyond your comfort zone. Future has all of the benefits of one-on-one personal training without the 1-hour time limit and strict schedule. Whether you need tips for sleeping well the night before a race or nutrition advice after setting a deadlift PR, your coach is ready to create a competitive edge wherever and whenever you're focused on fitness. Kind of would like to get back into deadlifting. Coolest sounding lift out there. Coolest bar as well.
Yeah.
That hexagon, very cool. It all happens through the Future app with the tools you need to plan workouts, measure progress, and celebrate milestones. Get started with a 2-week free trial of the Future at tryfuture.com/nodunks. That's tryfuture.com/nodunks. You can cancel anytime for a full refund. Personal training made modern, only on Future.
We got one more winner of the weekend. The Athletic ad sales team. Because we're in high demand, baby. Holy moly. Way to go, boys and girls. All right.
The problem is, though, I wanted to jump in on the deadlift. I wanted to jump in on yours. But when you got so many ads, you don't want to ad lib.
Yeah, too much. You're right. You're right.
Great call.
So what we got to tell the ad department is go back, increase our rates like crazy so we don't have to sell as many ads, but we can just do one ad and talk about it for like 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Galaxy brain. Okay. We've done winners of the NBA weekend. Let's do losers. Trey, why don't you get us started here? Who's your big loser of the weekend?
I got an impromptu what you got, which is the worst loss. You lose by 1 to a championship contender after missing 6 straight free throws with 3 minutes left, or you lose by 29 and give up 82 points and a half to a completely mid team. What you got?
Man, what's the answer?
Oh, the mid. Losing to the mid.
You think that's worse?
I think so.
I think doing something that maybe hasn't been done in like 25 years, and I'm talking about missing 6 free throws at the end of a game to lose. I'm going with that one. That's
a tough
brutal.
call. It's a tough call, but that's why the Mavericks are losers of the weekend.
Yep.
They did both. I'm going with Friday as worse because the Mavs had the Bucks beat on Friday night. Double-digit lead heading into the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, Giannis started rolling 15 points in the fourth, 5 of 6 from the field, 5 of 5 at the free throw line, but the Mavs got a little gifty. Giannis Antetokounmpo fouled out. Unfortunately, the Mavs were ice cold in the fourth quarter. They made 4 of their first 5 field goals, but then in the last 8 minutes, they went 3 of 13 from the field. Still, no problem. Could have still won this game. Unfortunately, the free throws were a problem. 6 straight misses starting about 3 minutes left. Dwight Powell missed one. Tim Hardaway Jr. missed 3 straight.
I can't believe that.
Dorian Finney-Smith missed 2. Every single trip that they were there would have given the Mavs the lead or tied the game. They went 7 of 15 in the fourth quarter, 10 for 24 the whole game. That's like a 3-point shooting field goal percentage. A bad one. Nonetheless, they still had a chance. The Mavs did. Up 1, 10 seconds left. The easiest inbounds play for a layup in the NBA so far this season. Brook Lopez gets a back screen from Chris Middleton. Nobody's there. I got a suggestion. Put a tall guy by the rim. Just put a tall guy by the rim.
Yeah.
They're trying to get it there every single time. Luka does nothing on this play. He's just watching. Nice. Very good stuff. Back to the basket the entire time. Then, on the inbound after Lopez makes the bucket, Luka nearly loses the ball. Could have been a timeout right there. They finally do get a timeout. 2.4 seconds left. Unfortunately, the Bucks knew exactly what play they were doing.
Yeah.
Guess what? It's Luka get the ball at the top. Half Court Hoops on Twitter has a great breakdown of this. Ended up being a desperation heave over Drew Holiday. Did not even get close. A little more attention to detail. And the Mavericks get a really nice win against the Bucks there. Saturday against the Bulls, they really just punted this game. Second game of a back-to-back. They didn't get to Chicago till like 4 in the morning. No Luka. They gave up 82 points in the first half. That's the most the Bulls have ever scored in the first half in their franchise history. This one was blowout city. So, a schedule loss, if you will, to Chicago on Saturday night. But that Friday night game, they should have won.
Oh man. And Luka was temper boy. Got to get him a t-shirt. What size you want, Luka? He was pissed at the end of that Mavericks game. And I guess rightfully so. Maybe at himself, maybe at the team missing free throws, the execution down the stretch, and losing a game that TK said, Tass, was winnable. They should have had that a couple times.
You know what I didn't like was Luka being on the floor even for that Brook Lopez alley-oop / layup. What I did like about what the Hawks did, Trae Young, both times at the end of regulation, at the end of overtime when they're playing a defensive possession, just sitting.
Took him out,
just off. Yeah, I don't really see the need for Luka to be out there while Brook Lopez had it. Yeah, that was wild to see how open he was for that layup. But I don't mind an angry Luka. I don't know. I mean, if I was one of his teammates, it probably wouldn't be fun, but it was, it's kind of nice to see in a regular season game. Mad Luka.
All right. Who do you have for a loser of the weekend?
Well, mine's a bit of a strange one here, but I'm going with a couple shooters. The Lakers' Austin Reaves and the Pistons' Bojan Bogdanovic. And they kind of tie in because Austin Reaves is having a bit of a storybook season, bit of a storybook young career for Hillbilly Kobe, as he's called. Undrafted, second season here. He's in the closing lineup for the Lakers with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And they're firing the ball to him all the time. And he hit a game winner last season, if you remember. And Friday versus Philly, while he's a bit of a loser, even though he buried a three with 12 seconds left to put the Lakers up. to put the Lakers within two, I should say. 119-117. Philly made it 120-117, and Reaves was fouled on a three-point attempt. So he went to the line to tie the game, and he buried the first two, and then he missed the third. Now, he's not just a loser because he missed one free throw, but the quote after makes him a bit of a loser because he said, "I don't know anybody that makes two and misses one. It sucks to miss. I'm sure my mom will be frustrated with me for missing a free throw." That's what he said.
Okay.
His mom. Just let it go. You're in a locker room with grown men, LeBron, Anthony Davis, who are doing incredible things. You don't have to talk about your mom. I understand you may have a relationship with your mom. That's great.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Anyway,
I not expect this twist.
Just let it go, Hillbilly Kobe. Just let it go. This guy, Austin Reaves, is, again, a storybook, 24-year-old, having a great young career. And then in Detroit on Sunday, the Lakers are there, 12 seconds left. He hit the game-sealing three because LeBron found him with a beauty pass in the corner. He's trusted. He is part of the closing lineup.
So why is he a loser?
Well, don't talk about your mom, and maybe you'll hit free throws. Listen, I love.
It's fascinating.
Don't talk about your mom, and maybe you'll hit free throws. I like it.
He's again, game winner last year. Coming into this year, the conversation was who's going to finish lineups around probably Westbrook, AD, and LeBron. This guy is out there every single time. I think he played the last 17 minutes of that win against the Pistons on Sunday. So the Lakers get the win, and they overcame Bojan Bogdanovic's 25 points in the third quarter. What? This guy is scorching. He's 33, and the Pistons aren't planning on trading him. He can have a 40-point game, and I think it's becoming a little bit more clear that they plan on keeping him around unless they are blown away by some sort of offer. And apparently there's been offers made for him, which you'd think, if I were to say a team offered a first-round pick, it's protected somewhat, plus filler, you'd think that they would take that, right? But according to our James Edwards at The Athletic, source told him that's what was offered, and it wasn't accepted. For a guy, again, 33, on this team, that is stinky. They have 7 wins, 22 losses. Cade Cunningham is out. He can have monstrous games like he did against the Lakers. 5 threes in the third quarter. He ended with 38 points. Shams Charania has an Inside Pass article which basically says the same thing. Pistons don't want to trade this guy that they extended because he's just so good in the locker room. He's leading their huddles. He almost led them to a victory in this game. And they would have a lot more wins if Cade Cunningham was there with him. But I just wonder. Maybe he's fine with it. Calling a guy a loser who had a ridiculous amount of money coming his way at an extension here, even if it's on a losing team, is dumb. The guy's living the life. I wonder if he wants to play on a winner because he is a winner. He was guarding LeBron down the end of this stretch of this game, deflecting balls. He's a great player, and I love watching him play. Again, he can catch fire. 38 points against the Lakers. He does it every few games where he has a monster game.
I'm not sure if Bogdanovic will be in our discussion, but I know at some point this week we got to tackle these swirling trade rumors with a bunch of names, Kyle Kuzma and possibly some of the Raptors players, and obviously what are the Heat doing, and will Bogdanovic be moved? Will someone, I don't want to say overpay because the guy's a talent, but will someone get very aggressive in terms of draft capital or really young, talented guy that maybe could find his footing in the league to acquire Bogdanovic to add to your team to help your chances of a playoff push and a playoff run? Because he'd be that type of guy for a lot of teams. But I guess they're going to have to pay a lot for him. So good on Weaver and the Pistons.
Yeah, he'll be in demand. I mean, 50, 40, 90 basically at 21 per game. That's hard to find in the NBA. Maybe this was an audition. Playing against
That's
the
where
Lakers,
I thought
right?
you were going to go with it when I saw this Austin Reaves angle, and maybe like, Bogdanovic could be taking your spot. But no, you swerved on me. I never know with you. It's amazing.
I don't think the Lakers have like a big scouting department, so they tend to trade for clutch clients and people who play good against
Right.
the Lakers. That's the time to do it. So 25 points in a quarter. Like, I bet Miles Turner has had some of his best games against the Lakers as well. That's the time to do it when you're playing him, because then they're like, oh, we should trade for that guy.
That guy's good.
He's killing us.
Yeah, the Miles Turner quote earlier this year on the Wojnarowski pod, on the Watch pod, where he basically said, yeah, if I was the Lakers, I'd think about trading me. Bojan Bogdanovic could be saying the exact same thing. After that performance, yeah, they would love to have a shot maker like that. Now, apparently, the proposed trade offer was a protected first-round pick. So if you bring down the protection, if you're Rob Pelinka and you bring down the protection for that 2027 pick, maybe it entices Troy Weaver. But it's also good to have an adult in the room that's not talking about his mom. You know what I mean?
Oh, boy, yeah.
Shout out to Austin
Reaves.
Reaves.
The stream team fired up with that take. I'll tell you that.
Why? What are they saying?
Well, there's no shame in being a mama's boy.
It looks to me like Austin Reaves' mom was a hooper as well.
Yeah.
All conference as a college basketball player.
Oh.
I think she's still in whatever university she went to's record books. I bet she was a great free throw shooter.
Probably.
Why he brings it up.
Yeah. I'm sure she was. I'm not saying she wasn't. I'm sure she's a fantastic person. She raised a fantastic young man. He's great. He's great. The guy's undrafted, and he's playing at the end of games with LeBron and AD, and then going in the locker room saying, my mom would be proud of me for that shot. Or not.
Not proud, yeah.
Yeah, well, it depends on the situation. He's also hit game winners. This dude's hitting a lot of shots.
Let's give the Miami Heat a loser of the weekend. Just a quick one here. They only played once, but the Heat fell to the Spurs. 115-111. Boy, Miami here. This stretch was the one I was saying. They got to do some damage here. Get some of these wins against some of these bottom-dwelling teams, and instead the opposite's happening. But they had a couple chances. They were down 2 with about 15 seconds to go. Sort of got a gift wrap to them and even the opportunity to either tie it up or win. And they went for the win. Tyler Hero missed a 3, and then Caleb Martin missed a 3 after that on the right wing, and Spurs finished it off at the free throw line. But the Heat are now 12-15. They head out on a 4-game road trip here that I think is very important to decisions being made possibly by Pat Riley coming up as we get closer to the deadline. They go to Indy, they go to OKC, they go to Houston, they go to San Antonio. If Miami Heat go 1-3 or something god awful like that on this little 4-game road trip, uh-oh. I know they're still in the mix because there's so many teams jumbled up in the Eastern Conference. So it's like go on a 10-day run and you'll probably go up 4 spots, but they just look uninspiring. This is a game with Jimmy Butler. This is a game with Bam, Hero. I mean, guys were playing in this and they still fell to the San Antonio Spurs. And I know you've talked about it before, that they somehow were flying under the radar of how disappointing they had been, but not anymore. Yes.
Even Barkley said you should blow them up, which means you probably shouldn't, unfortunately. They did get the right looks, though, on that last play. Like, Hero was shooting the ball well in that game, as was Martin. They just missed those ones, but you can't take any team for granted at this point if you're the Heat, especially considering the standings are so close. But now is the time for them to win some games and make up a little bit of ground here if they're going to be struggling to win these games against the worst teams. Like, if they don't go 3-1 or better against these 4 teams, there will be a lot of heat. The Heat.
Nice. Things are so desperate there in Miami. They're trying to bring back good luck charms. See what they did before the Spurs game? In a nod to their past Spurs Heat NBA Finals, Miami brought back Julia Dale to perform the Star-Spangled Banner. You remember that name at all?
I do remember that name.
That was the preteen who became like a bit of a sort of internet sensation or good luck charm, really, for the Heat during that playoff run a decade ago. Now she's like in university, but they brought her back. They're like, man, we need a win. We're playing the Spurs like the old finals days, and even that didn't work. Raptors, so I don't know what they do next.
Maybe
Trade for LeBron.
That'll do it.
Get Bosh out of retirement. Yeah.
it was strange that they got that offensive rebound for that additional shot they got. Bam was the one who got the rebound. He was in the lane.
Yeah.
They're down 2.
Yeah.
6 seconds left. There's no one around.
Tied up.
And everybody laid off. He could have easily flicked it in. I don't know if you knew game time and score there.
Maybe not.
If he thought it was 3, but he could have easily tied the game.
Yeah, Bam had a bad game in this one after playing incredible basketball for the Heat, as we talked about not too long ago. But let's get to the real loser of the weekend. It's the Toronto Raptors, who went to Florida and dropped 2 games, back-to-back games, over 3 nights, to the Orlando Magic, who I think had the worst record in the league, but suddenly they're on a 3-game win streak and have moved up a little bit. But to quote Michael Grange, the Raptors right now couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat. They can't hit shots to save their life. They've been the worst 3-point shooting team in the NBA since November 4th, which is like a stretch of like 19 or 20 games where they're shooting under 30% from deep, 6 of 25 on Sunday. Okay, there's no OG in this, who is one of their better shooters, but it's not like he's lights out from 3. And they just got, once again, a bit of a math problem for the Raps, where the Magic beat them by 24 points from behind the arc. And they stuck around in this game. This game was so gross to watch, too. This is the other part about these Raptors losses. It's one thing when your team loses, but it's like they're scrappy, or it's fun, or it's like it's entertaining to commit 2.5 hours of your time to watch your team lose. That's not the case with the Raptors right now. Part of it is because they can't hit shots, and they have to just try and get to the line to score points. There were something like 69 nice but not nice free throws attempted in this game. It was brutal watch. It took so long this game, but this is alarming, Tass, as a Raps fan, to drop to 13-14, 3-11 on the road.
But they're good at home.
They're good at home, but
they're great at
turns
home.
out you play half of your games on the road.
Yes, it's unfortunate. The 3-point shooting excuse is not good enough. I watched the Saturday night rematch of the finals. Didn't matter for the Golden State Warriors that they hit one more 3 than the Boston Celtics. They got into 2-point land and they hit a bunch of 2s. That's what I expected some of the Raptors to do. That being said, I watched that Celtics Warriors game in all possessions mode rather than live. So it took literally 36 minutes. I don't know how they do it. How they cut 12 minutes out if you're watching all the possessions. They cut the bringing up. Of the
they don't bring
back.
the ball up.
Yeah, so that takes time, and it takes time watching these games because of a lot of free throws. And Franz Wagner's a Raptor killer.
Absolutely, he was great in both
like
games.
Butter.
I thought Mo Bamba has played really, really well for the 2 games I watched here over the weekend. I mean, I just wasted 5 hours of my weekend watching the shitty Raptors, honestly. And the Magic played great. They shot like 59% on the Friday night game in that win. And yeah, the Raps played with some more defensive backbone in the Sunday game, but it turns out you do need to be able to score. That helps. And they can't. I think Masai Ujiri is going to have to do something here, unless you just like lean into the tank. If you want to salvage their season, you got to get some more. You either go get a center that can actually play, or get some more shooting if possible, and make maybe a somewhat of a drastic move, because no one can shoot. Gary Trent Jr. is actually playing well suddenly again. He's their one real shooter. He's okay. He got slotted into the starting lineup because no OG, but outside of that, nobody can hit a shot.
So who you trading? OG?
I mean, I guess you're trading.
He's the only guy
You're
bringing
trading
anything
OG
back,
or Van
really.
Vliet. Yeah.
You need a point guard though, because they don't have another point guard on the roster, and you do have 3 forwards who are all like a huge piece of your team. I mean, OG is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate and is having a solid season, but I mean, the Scotty Barnes stuff is weird. He just doesn't look good so far this season, and he just looks a little out of place to me. Siakam is obviously balling. He ain't going anywhere. Barnes ain't going anywhere. OG's the guy who's going to be dangled quite a bit here, I think.
Yeah, the boys aren't tanking. Pascal Siakam is too good to even be thinking about tanking. He is playing so well. And it's unfortunate that around him, they need guard help. There's no doubt. And OG he makes sense as the guy, because Scotty Barnes, unfortunately, unless you're still extremely high on him as a rival GM, then that could be it, I suppose. But Raps fans still don't want to trade him. That makes
He's
entirely
been
that makes sense.
So disappointing.
It's been odd. It's been very odd too. Strange. He's lost his groove. Yeah. Scotty's lost the flow. He doesn't step into his shots. It's just unbelievable, really. After watching him last season, then watching him in the videos in the offseason, he looked dominant. So,
rumors are too that Masai Ujiri flew down on that Raptors road trip to meet with Scotty Barnes, have a one-on-one with him. So I know there's leaks. It feels like some sort of leaks coming. I think Zach Lowe was talking about it. There's been some other sort of prominent writers saying there's maybe some discontent in the Raptors locker room. Maybe people aren't happy with their roles. Who knows? Touches, whatever. Who knows? I don't know. You start losing games when you are considered, or you think you should be a decent team. People are going to start pointing fingers maybe at who's playing over me or not trying hard enough or doing whatever. So this could get very bad though here, Tess. I will say, the Raptors' next 13 games are against teams all 500 or better. There's no real easy. Yeah, that should be a W. At home or on the road. These are a lot of good competition coming up. Now some of those teams, 500-ish teams, or just over, the Knicks and stuff like that. Not like the Raps couldn't beat them, but yeah.
The Scotty Barnes interview there after the game where he was coming off the bench, that for, I guess it was a 2-game stretch where he was interviewed and asked about his role, and he kind of just mumbled his way through his answer. He said, "Yeah, that's fine. Are you happy?" He always talks like that. That's his MO. So I think it's fine. It's the victories have to come and everything will be entirely fine. The guard play is the worrisome part. If they have one steady guard, then they're good. And Fred VanVleet has not been steady enough. Mm-hmm. Sure. He was good for that one game last week. It's been a roller coaster.
He's played
with Fred.
I've watched almost every Raptors game. I think VanVleet's played 4 good games all season. And a lot of them are really bad, actually, games.
He has said that there are a lot of things going on with him, which have resulted in him playing poorly. He said he was going to turn it around. They're also playing a ton of minutes with their starters. In that game against the Magic, 3 guys played more than 40 minutes, and Siakam was near 40 minutes.
Well, that's another part of the problem, though. Look at their guard rotation. Banton, they don't trust and has not showed really any development. Malachi Flynn, nope. Same thing. I mean, he's good for a bucket. He'll give it all back.
The Flynn dog. It's not happening with the Flynn dog.
It's not like Nurse trusts them or anything.
No.
And that's why
it's so much on Fred.
Well, it's so much on Fred. I 100% agree. And then it's also the trickle down then is Scotty Barnes, we thought was going to be, he'll be the second playmaker. He'll run the second unit when Fred gets some rest. He's basically a point guard. He's the next Magic Johnson. It's he is not showing that this year.
Did expectations get to Scotty Barnes?
Possibly.
Because he just doesn't look like himself. It's strange. Happy guy. Remember last year? He was the happiest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Talking about beans all the time. Loves them.
So many vibes. And then, it's odd this season. Very odd.
We'll see if Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster make a move here with the Raptors. It'll at least makes that exciting for content creators like us to talk about who should they move. I'm sure we'll get into that later in the week. I know you don't want to, but these are conversations we're going to have.
Skeets. I love content. I'm happy to talk about. I'm in here for.
You have been talking about trade for KD. Trade for KD. They should have traded for KD.
They should have. They should have traded for Donovan Mitchell. I was on that bandwagon in the offseason. But anyway, I'm done harping about that. I'm up for an emergency pod for anybody.
Anybody.
Delano Banton. Boom.
No.
We had a Cam Reddish emergency pod.
And we learned our lesson. We shouldn't have.
He should be better. Yeah, maybe that's why I love him so much, because we had an emergency pod. My expectations just grew. If you get an emergency podcast, you're going to be a great player.
We decide now players' future. I like that.
No, I thought he was going to be good. I remember those playoffs.
Put me down that they're going to do something here, though. Masai Ujiri is not afraid to obviously make a move when he needs to turn a season around, save a season.
Sure. And
Trey's right. There are pieces that they overlap, no doubt. So move one of those solid pieces for other good pieces is the play. Because I don't think it would be leaning into a tank in the sense of we're trading somebody just for future draft picks and a young guy. No, they're going to hope to find someone that can actually help them win. Help if you could score. If you can come in and score, you might get some time on this Raptors.
Wasn't Nick Nurse an offensive genius Wasn't he the guy who was like, hey, we got to start taking corner threes?
Yeah.
And that turned the Raptors around at the end of Dwayne Casey's tenure. He's like defensive experimentation guy now. Mm-hmm. Back to basics, bud. He's a little bit of a Thibodeau, to be quite honest, the way he doesn't trust young guys and runs the minutes up for everybody else. Mm-hmm. Focuses on defense and just kind of hopes things happen on offense. I don't know. But I thought that was his calling card when he became the Raptors coach. This guy's an offensive genius, and now they just have to hope they get fouled and go to the line.
Don't put this on Nick. Don't put it.
It might be, man.
He trusts Scott. He trusts Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes playing a ton. These guys just can't hit shots.
They can't hit shots.
Yes, they definitely could go the other way of Tibbs and play their guys more. There's no doubt. I don't think anyone's helping with the way they're shooting and the way they're playing on the road. Like, that's not where the young guys are going to help. Again, damn good team at home.
I'm not going to have a home playoff series, though. It will be the problem.
No.
Or play-in game at this, the way it's going so far. All right, we got to take our final break here. When we come back, they'll pick 'em results and a funny tweet of the night. Don't go anywhere.
Peloton, my old friend. Where are my notes? Oh, guys, yeah, here it is. It's always this time of year that we start thinking about what next year will bring. We start thinking about resolutions to work out more, but let's face it, they rarely stick. Hey, maybe you're the type that needs a little extra incentive to stick with your plans. What, living longer and looking good naked not good enough for you? Well, Peloton gets it, they get you, and they've got a gift for you. Get $200 off accessories like cycling shoes, heart rate monitors, and more when you purchase a Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread, and up to $100 off accessories with the purchase of a Peloton guide to take your workout to the next level. Make this first step toward achieving your fitness goals in 2023. And once you start, you'll see why so many people stick with Peloton with a variety of workouts from cycling to scenic runs, boot camps to power walks. You'll find classes that work for you, taught by world-class instructors who know exactly how to get the best out of you. So don't wait. Get this offer before it ends on December 25th. That's less than 2 weeks away, right, Tess?
Yes, less than 2.
That's right. This expires on December 25th. Visit onepeloton.com. All access membership separate. Offer ends, again, December 25th. Cannot be combined with other offers. See additional terms at onepeloton.com.
Merry Sorbsmas! And a happy Sorbidays to everyone.
Yes.
It's not all sleigh bells and mistletoe out there. It's also picking out a tree bigger than your station wagon and having to figure out how to get it home. Or leaving your kid at home alone while you travel to France. And it's even accidentally becoming Santa when you put on his suit after he falls off your roof. That actually happened to a close friend of mine named Scott.
Wow.
Yeah. Haven't seen him since.
Jeez.
Got huge, man. Huge and old. Out of nowhere. Guy fell off his roof. Some of these guys Santa Claus.
Wow.
Nonetheless, you can fight holiday stress with Next Evo Naturals. Unlike other CBD brands, Next Evo's Smart Sorb technology delivers CBD to your system in as little as 10 minutes. Smart Sorb upgrades CBD's natural absorption power. It's scientifically formulated to deliver more CBD fast. The only brand clinically proven to deliver 30 times better absorption in the first 30 minutes. Yeah, that's Next Evo Naturals, baby. You can get smarter CBD from Next Evo Naturals and up to 25% off subscription orders of $40 or more at nextevo.com/podcast. Promo code NODUNKS. That's nextevo.com/podcast. Promo code NODUNKS.
All right, JD, the stream team loving the clean new look you've got. Somebody got a haircut over the weekend.
I did. It's the holiday cut.
Oh.
It's holiday. I'm heading to Europe, so I got to fit in over there. I can't go looking like a American hillbilly with, people pointing at me going, Duck Dynasty? No.
I forgot you're going to Europe. Yeah. Sorry about you wanted the Netherlands to make it all the way to the World Cup final because you would have been in Amsterdam for the actual
night of the
final.
Yeah,
that would have been fun.
That would have been a bummer. But you know what? It's going to be cool to be in Europe for the final. I'm sure they're going to do it up.
Think they like soccer/football over there?
I heard.
Yeah.
I heard they do.
Okay, good. Well, have fun.
Thanks.
Let's get to pick 'em results from Friday night. We had the Gobert return game. Minnesota in Utah. Jazz were the favorites by 2.5 points. But Tass and I said, no. Minnie's going to get the win. Hit the money line. Another SU here. And that's what happened. Utah lost. Sorry, Trey. So you're 3-4. So am I. Tass is 5-2. Lots of games on tonight. Monday night. Decent schedule.
7 games in the NBA tonight.
Perfect amount of games.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I agree. That's solid. Nice little range of time start times. Brooklyn at Washington. Brooklyn climbing the standings. They have won 7 of 8. They're 4th in the East. Feels odd. And they are 6-0 versus the Southeast Division this season, if you're into that kind of thing.
What a stat!
But the Wizards are in that Southeast Division. At the same time, you got to win by 6 if you're taking the Brooklyn Nets here, because it's a 5.5 point line. Brooklyn in Washington getting 5.5 points at home. So I'm taking the Wiz, not taking the Nets to win by 6 or more. You guys have Brooklyn to win by 6 or more.
Yeah, a lot of their guys returning. I think,
Sure.
to line up,
Oh,
so that's a
sure.
big part of it. But
Oh, sure.
yeah, Wizards reeling a little bit in terms of win-losses.
Yeah,
Nets are going the other way.
I'm not taking SUML.
No.
I'm not going straight up money line.
Okay.
I'm taking those points.
Just dogs covering. All right. Good luck to you. Trey and I got Brooklyn win by 6 or more points in Washington.
Who've lost a lot of games in a row. They've lost 6 in a row.
Yeah.
The haves and the have-nots starting to separate themselves in the Eastern Conference.
A little bit. Slowly but surely.
The Bulls are on the top of the have-nots.
Yeah. The Raptors, Bulls, they're trying to decide which category they want to fall into.
I'm not putting the Raps in that category. No.
Okay. Let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Tweet of the night. Keep it real simple. From a great account at CountOnVic. She tweeted with a photo. This gummy not gonna do shit. Me 12 minutes later. LeBron has a photo of him from last night's Pistons game. It's been flipped upside down, but just a funny reaction from LeBron, all sprawled out there on the hardwood, and yeah, the gummy kicking in a little late. How's the smart sorb on that?
Yeah, 12 minutes. Wow, that's 30 times faster, I would say. Usually expect a 60-minute activation time, 45 if you're lucky, but I mean, you guys know our bodies are water mostly, so the gel-soluble stuff, it ain't going to happen as fast.
Yep.
You got to get that smart sorb technology in you. I feel like between this, we saw Porzingis and Paul George. Is that who it was? They both fell at the exact same time.
Yep.
We had multiple unwritten rule infractions.
Yep.
We had multiple what if free throws do win games kind of losses here. Things were happening in bunches this weekend is what I'm saying.
Wedgies,
exactly. We didn't just have one of anything.
No.
We had multiples.
No.
I guess it's the holiday season. People stocking up. Sure, I'll get you a board game, but I'm going to also get a board game for my dad and stepmom and give it to them as well. Same board game. They won't know any better.
What's the hot new board game right now?
Bonanza.
What's that about?
We call it beans. You're trading beans. You're literally trading beans. You're like, all right, you flip over.
Oh my God.
I'll give you 2 stink beans for your princess bean over there. You're trying to stack up the most coins, and they're all beans, different bean flavors out there.
Come on, board game creators have given up.
This game is
like we've done every
fire.
game. We're
This
like,
game
what
is
are we
great.
doing? Let's trade beans. Okay.
That game's a big hit around the household
Okay.
right now. What else do we got? Uno, a classic.
Oh yeah, sure.
Can't sleep on Uno, and then poop bingo is a big one.
Poop bingo.
Yeah, poop bingo. Oh, cat poop. Got it. Put down my little thing.
So
We
they're
got so
all
many
types
bingos.
of poop.
Yeah, yes.
25 different types of poop.
Here's the thing. It's a 4x4 board.
Oh.
P-O-O-P.
Quicker game.
Yeah, poop.
That's how it's spelled.
So hold on. You go, okay, under the P, cat poop.
Nah, you're just calling the poops.
Okay.
You're just calling straight up poops and the animals. Because, you could have cat, but also cat poop.
Oh, okay,
Several.
okay.
Like there's just you've talked a lot about how advent calendars
Oh yeah, I
are
have.
spanning like crazy, as are bingo games.
Wow.
We've got Ocean Bingo. bug bingo, and of course poop bingo.
That's one thing.
One family
that's-
doesn't need that many bingos.
No, you don't. That's one of our holiday traditions with Nora's family, the Armenians. I call bingo. We have a bingo game, massive bingo game, but I'm always the caller.
Nice.
I took it over about a decade ago after I couldn't stand the people that were calling it. I was like, we need some structure to this. We could be playing so many more games. We have so much more money flying around the table. Let me take it in. Now I take a small cut. Sure, yeah. No, I'm kidding. I love doing it. Yeah. Anyway, bingo. I only play bingo once a year, and it's at the.
You want to take Ocean Bingo with you?
Well, I'm not going home for the holidays. So who's here? You're here.
Uh-huh.
You want to play some bingo? Oh, your kids love bingo.
Oh, they love bingo.
All right.
You're gonna run a tight ship, or?
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they can handle Skeets running a bingo
they
board.
can learn. These kids start to learn quickly. Old Skeetsy on the call. He's gonna say it with a nice, clear voice, and then he's gonna give you one more repeat, and that's it.
On to the next.
And then you do not ask. What was that? You can ask the table. You can find out. But I'm not wasting any more time.
This is too much. Sounds like Temper Boy to me.
No.
Sounds like there might be some throwdowns.
I just more ignore. I'm talking about a bunch of 60-year-old Armenians yelling at me. What did he say? What? What? It's like, no, sorry, I'm on to the next one.
You got the thing?
Well, no, they literally have one from the 70s. It's in like almost the size of like a tall mug or something, almost like the size of a Yeti, maybe a little bit smaller, and then you twist it and these tiny little balls with the numbers come out. I can't believe we haven't lost one over
That's amazing.
4 decades, 5 decades.
That is amazing.
But no, they're all there because I check. See, I run a tight ship. I check every year, make sure they're all there. There's no shenanigans. Oh yeah, you don't know. What if you had a card with I-21 on it and was never there?
It's quite in my house. It's quite possible.
Oh, it's terrible. It's horrible.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of bunches, real quick, Trey, you said when I was talking about AJ Griffin hitting 2-game winners this year that you thought Cole Anthony hit 2-game winners as a rook. He did. They just weren't buzzer beaters, so you're a good call on that. But quick trivia. 3 rooks, other than AJ Griffin, have hit multiple game winners since 96-97. Cole Anthony is one. So 2 more. Multiple game winners. Rookies since 96-97.
They don't have to be buzzer beaters.
No, they're just game winners. One was very involved in a game that we just talked about, that I just mentioned. It wasn't AJ Griffin in that game, but another one.
Kyrie Irving?
No.
Trey Young.
18-19 hit 2-game winners, and then a blast from the past.
Kobe?
No,
Kyrie.
No.
Hit a lot of
He won Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Allen Iverson.
No, not quite that long. Somewhere in between.
LeBron.
He peaked in his first year.
Tyreek Evans.
Tyreek Evans. Yeah.
Good
He had a long one, I think, didn't he?
I don't know.
I feel like he had a crazy long buzzer beater maybe in his rookie
Perhaps
season.
he did.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
All right, good trivia. Way to have the music there too, JD.
Yeah,
I love
well
that.
done.
It makes it so more intense. I'm gonna have that. Can I get that music bed for when I call bingo the next time over the holidays?
100%.
Yeah, I like that. All right, let's call it. Hope it was a classic. Let us know, winners and losers of the NBA weekend, who we'd miss. Tweet it in at NoDunkSync. Let us know in the YouTube comments. Hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribe if you haven't. Share the show with your family and friends. And I got to encourage you to check out last week's. It went up on Friday, so you maybe missed it. The new Is This Good podcast with comedian Joe Mandy.
That's a good one.
I listened to this on the weekend walking Luna. I am at times howling out loud in my neighborhood, laughing at a couple parts in this. Like some legit LOL moments with Joe and Matteo and JD debating some hilarious topics. I don't think I'm spoiling anything, but at one point, Joe tells a story about when he was a kid, and he still has a lot of regret for it. It was like a family heirloom. They had tarot cards.
Yeah.
And he said he found them when he was a kid, and like he thought his favorite comic book hero at the time was Gambit.
Oh yeah.
So he was like, he took these like really like old, like antique, like I guess pretty important to the family at least, tarot cards, and like ruined them because he thought he was Gambit, like throwing them and chucking them and stuff like that. And I was laughing at that part. So go check out Is This Good? Very, very funny, JD. I love that one. And
Yeah,
you were a nice counter to Matteo and Joe. I thought you were.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I like that you were swerving.
I try to swerve whenever possible.
What was your weirdest swerve, would you say? That maybe after you're like, I don't really believe that, but
Well, once I commit, that's how I feel for the rest of my life.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, bathroom attendants.
I couldn't believe it.
Bathroom attendants.
You said
yeah.
you were bathroom attendants were good.
I thought they were.
And I thought that was a massive JD swerve just for the sake of the podcast.
Yeah, well, I thought the points that I brought up were valid.
Yeah. But you even said, and you've said before, you don't like people around you when you go to the washroom.
That is also true.
That's literally what a bathroom attendant is.
Right.
He's like,
yeah.
he's just hovering around you.
If only they would step in when I'm washing my hands and I'm ready for a mint. You know what I mean? Like wait outside the bathroom and then come.
Interesting. Well, maybe you can request that next time.
Maybe.
Just tip him a little bit
Sir,
more.
would you mind just stepping out there?
Ask him to step
please.
into his stall. Just step into his stall for a second while I use the urinal.
Here, put on this blindfold and turn and face the wall while I take care of my business.
Do you have a sound machine in here, sir, that you can turn on? All right, go check out Is This Good? Thanks for joining us here. We'll be back tomorrow from the Classic Factory live at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll see you then. Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, stage fright. It's a real thing. Not saying you have it, JD, but I do. Yeah.
Brace the weekend. Not the weekend. Brace the day.